Let's go. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise I ain't make it then. In their heads, living free. I ain't paying rent. Wake up in the AM, making G's like Mercedes Benz. Whoa, yeah. Please don't take offense. It isn't.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Cockrise of the show. I'm Jamie Jones.
I'm Monique Jones.
And we are back after a bit of a hiatus there, getting some things together, really getting dug out here in the northeast of snow. So many things have happened since we've been gone over the last 2 weeks. So many things have stayed the same, but so many things have happened. Entertaining, not entertaining, but so many things have happened. As I've always said, and I will continue to say, the greatest content generator of this decade has been POTUS.
Don't say his name.
The current POTUS. I said the current POTUS. I mean, he must love being in the news for whatever. So do you know he sent a love letter to the woman that won the lawsuit against him for the abuse a few years back when she won, right before he got to be president. They sent a letter out, I guess it was a general letter out for donations around Valentine's Day, and she happened to get one. So you sent a love letter, a Valentine's Day letter, to asking for money to somebody who you sexually abused and got convicted of. At least in a civil court, you got convicted of. Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff. So, and now it used to be, see, you could create enough news to get you off of the Epstein files. But now, since the UK and other countries are taking action against people who have been tangled or intertwined with the Epstein files, something's got to happen here because they caught your boy, Andrew.
Did you see hold on a second. Did you see the parade that the Germans had? They had a parade, and they had Trump in this parade clowning him like he was the circus. I can't believe you didn't see it. It's all over social media.
Did they have like a big blow up of him and like in a parade walking down the street,
It
like
actually
Macy's
wasn't
parade?
Yes, but it wasn't a blow up. That they made that at like, I don't know. They made that. I don't know. It was crazy, but it was like basically he was the circus. He was a circus. I mean,
they take so much. They worry so much about the wrong thing. It's just like the Olympics, and just a few minutes ago, if not a half hour ago, congratulations to the men's Olympic hockey team for winning gold for the first time since Miracle on Ice 1980, and congratulations the other day to the women's hockey team.
Yeah,
for winning gold as well against Canada for the men. The women both monumental
great job.
feats. Great job. Probably two of the best hockey games you'll ever see, or probably most people watch. Even though hockey's a great sport, gets a lot of attention. But even then, it's like they're coming after the Olympics because, like one of the Olympians said, hey, it's kind of hard right now to represent everything the flag stands for. That's all they said. It's like, I can't represent everything the flag stands for. And they went after them like they said America wasn't shit. And look, we aren't shit in some places. And we're very daggone good and the best in the world at a lot of daggone things, but we're not a perfect country. We like to pretend that we are, although we're the best. See, you can be the best, but not perfect. That's easy to do, is to be the best, but not perfect. So we're not perfect, but we are the best overall. But other countries beat us in certain areas. That's a whole podcast for another day, but like MAGA goes after, and I can't even call it MAGA now because MAGA's getting to the point now where they're like, look, you told us you want to release all the files. I read something today. That Pam Bondi's only released like almost 13,000 files when there's still millions out there. They said they released millions, but they didn't. So I think the tipping point was last week, or was it? Yeah, it's last week because today's Sunday. So last week is when the Clintons were like, look, if we're gonna do this, we need to do this in public. Don't get us coming in here behind closed doors, and then you get out there and make it seem like it was something that it's not. So if y'all want to shine light, let's shine light. And I was like, they ain't scared.
Let's have the cameras.
It's like,
action.
They're not
let's
scared.
go.
I was like, all right, let's go. And look, I haven't seen them on stage yet.
Nope.
I haven't seen them on stage. They said they just want to be treated fairly. It's like if everybody's going out in public, we want to go out in public too. It's like let's bring it all in the light. And they were like, oh, we didn't know y'all were gonna say that. We didn't know
Yeah.
you guys were actually going to
Uh,
want to do it in public.
They
They
thought they were
said, no,
gonna
we're not
back
having that. They got
right.
problems. I mean, Prince Andrew in UK, they came up on him like a common criminal. They just arrested him. And they're like, yeah, you're out of the line of succession, even though he never would have got there anyway.
Mhm.
But the UK's not playing around. They're just like, yeah, you got to leave. You got to resign. You got to do this.
Yeah.
You got to walk.
They don't want any
But
parts of
here,
it.
so that's where we're the best, but we're not perfect. Like here, so do we actually co-sign with pedophiles, abusers, rapists? Call it what you want. Do we co-sign on that?
No,
Do
we
we
don't
co-sign?
co-sign on that.
Do we well, we're co-signing because everybody else is making moves. They're like getting rid of these people. And as we get more and more
Right.
into the whole thing about Giselle, however she pronounces his name, Miss Maxwell,
Mhm.
is after you read the stuff, it's like, how did she get into the comfy confines of minimum luxury prison after all? I mean, she was basically
You know how she
the
did it, just like
ringleader.
you know how they murdered Epstein.
Yeah, I think they got rid of it. And then there was a guy who said he saw the autopsy and he was like, that was strangulation. That wasn't strangulation
Yep.
by hanging. He said that was
Yep.
strangulation by
Yeah.
force to
When
a
were we
certain area
reading
that
that? We were
couldn't be.
reading that somewhere.
Oh, all this stuff, it's going to be, what can they do? Because people are getting tired of it now. And I know the Republicans are like, yo, man, it's midterms. You're messing up you're messing up our midterm groove
Yeah.
because it's going to be a bloodbath. But then the Democrats, they're going to have to come back and really do something
Mhm.
with that new, if they get there, with
Mhm.
that new, I don't even call it power, but leverage. With with that new leverage, what are they going to be able to do? Because dude is just like, besides the whole old man thing, that all, we get old and it's going to happen. You're going to be sitting there falling asleep. You're going to be sitting there waking up and saying some stuff that's out of pocket, but you're the you're the president. My man was mocking mealtime prayer. Now it's one thing if you mock mealtime prayer in your private home in Mar-a-Lago or wherever you live. It's probably a different kind of setting when you're at the national prayer breakfast and you mock mealtime prayer. Now this is
He
supposed
is a dick.
to
Can't stand him. I
I have
just to hear
respect
his
for the
voice.
office. I have the respect for
I
the office, so I won't go that far
Well,
until
you
he
don't
gets
have to
out.
because you're not me. But I'm going to tell you, I literally was on the phone with my sister the other day, and I had turned on my computer, and you know how the larger one is the TV, and he was on there on the news, and just to hear his voice, she was like, "Oh my God, hurry up and turn that off." I was like, I can't, and I was struggling to turn it off, and just the sound of him talk, his voice just makes me cringe. Like, and I remember when he was the first time he was elected, and I remember my brother telling my mom, "If you don't vote for Trump, don't ever talk to me again." And my mom was like, "I'm not voting for him." And he was like, and they've never spoken again. They've never spoken again. And I am
Yeah,
so
see, I don't get that. I don't get that.
and
Like,
I'm
why
so
are people like
curious,
that?
is he happy that he's president again? I would like to believe that he's happy that he's the president again. I don't know. I haven't talked to him, and the last few times I did speak with him, I didn't ask him that question, but I am curious to know, you know, th- if he is still happy that he's president. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine. They're Spanish, and she was saying how her brother is like he's married to a white woman, and how they are pro Trump, like Trump, Trump, Trump. And I was just like, she was like, really, like how could you be for this person? He's not for you. He is not for you.
Well, that's the dynamic that and the demographic that people just don't understand. But they've always voted down their husband's party line, whether they be Spanish, whether they be white, whether they be whether they be
Well, he's
black, even though
voting
there's a
down
little
her
bit of
line.
difference.
He's
Whose
following
line?
her.
Who?
My girlfriend's brother is following the wife.
Okay.
It's not the wife following the husband. Um, But yeah, I'm like, he is not for the people. He is not for he's only for himself and he's only for the billionaires. That's
Well,
it.
we know that he's made over, they said the other day,
He's a
$872
dick.
million in the last 2 years. And look, this America, I'm not opposed to making money, but they're supposed to be like, you're supposed to put all your stuff into a trust, a blind trust, but with his family organization, call it what you want, Trafia. I'll call it Trafia like
Mm,
mafia. I mean,
mhm,
he's coming out like, for instance, he said a couple weeks ago, all right, I'll release rail tunnel funds that you guys want to build this infrastructure if,
mhm.
only if, you put my name on the Dulles Airport and Penn Station in DC. I'm like, yo, dude is like, yeah, that's some old gangster stuff. Like, I'll give it to you, but this is what you got to give.
Yeah, he's again, I just
Look, there's consequences. He's not worried about it because regardless, he's going to be rich. He's building up. My thing is, I think he's building up a war chest so big, so at least when he gets out of the presidency, he'll have so much money to push that getting into jail down the road that he can outlast anybody on the money side. And then when he dies, it's all over anyway. And he'll still have, and his family will still be fine, or if he even cares. But his family will still be fine because it's just ridiculous the amount of money that they've been able to acquire. The problem with that is that now, you got for sale signs up in America. Basically, what do you want? It's for sale. This is what you get if we get this. And that's not a good way to do diplomacy. And then you hope it'll change
mhm.
with the next person that comes in. But you can't be sure because the next person comes in is going to be like, well, he did it. And it's not like other presidents' families didn't profit off of it. They just did it in a way that was, let's just say, more with more diplomacy. But now it's out and open. Now you know.
Yeah.
So you can't
Uh,
say you can't say you didn't know. And speaking of dicks,
okay. I know plenty of
speaking
them.
of dicks, things you didn't know about your penis just came
Oh,
out.
Lord. Okay.
Not your penis, of course. It would be my penis. Would you
Oh, I
like to
didn't
know what those things are?
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe people will know and maybe they won't. These are good
Okay.
discussion. These maybe are discussion topics you need to have with your partner before they become your partner or while they're
Oh,
becoming your
okay.
partner.
I'm
Or
so
I don't know. I'm just making it up. It could be a fun game you play, 30
okay.
facts about penises. So
Okay.
we'll go through a few.
All right.
This is obvious. Only part of it is visible. Only part of it is visible, which may give people hope who think that they are smaller than average. They may can, go a little bit down into the skin and add another half inch or so because the penis doesn't start from where you see it. It actually, there's part of it that's inside of you. So you probably get to add on a little bit. And the average penis is like 5.3 inches. That's
Mm,
the average. The average penis
okay.
erect is 5.3 inches.
Okay.
5.3 inches. Okay. Across the globe, not when you break it down into ethnicities, it's a little bit different depending on what ethnicity. I'll let you make up your own obvious connotations on that. Um, it also performs two different biological roles. I think we do that, right? One for ejaculation, fertility, the other for waste removal. Those are the
Mhm.
easy ones, right? And
Okay.
many people don't know that an erection is a blood pressure event,
Yes.
right? The penis it doesn't flex into an erection,
Mhm.
and there's no muscles inside to create
Right.
rigidity.
Mhm.
You knew that.
Mhm.
Okay. And what really controls that part of your body? That's the question. Do you know
What could
what really controls that part of our body?
I'm assuming your brain?
You're right. You're right. Good. Good.
Like,
Good. She's like, I assume the brain is a real
you
control
always
center.
ask these questions that I'm
I
like,
mean, I'm just
I
asking the
sit back and I
question.
question myself because I'm like, is this
Because
like a
it
trick
begins in the
question?
brain. No, it begins in the brain. Visual stimuli, touch, fantasies, emotional closeness, even memories can trigger neural signals. So, of course, it comes from the brain and the stress, anxiety, fear, distractions. And morning erections are healthy. They are a sign of REM sleep. So you
Really?
know you had a good night's sleep if you wake up and you gotta, move around a little bit. Your
So that
testosterone
that
levels,
means you're sleeping well.
yes, your testosterone levels are at a peak during that time and your nervous system is relaxed. So
Hmm.
testosterone's got a free, thorough way to your
I wonder, is
genitals.
there a way that a woman knows that she had great realm sleep?
It's not about women right now. We're talking about men. Talking about men.
Of
We
course,
always
it's
gotta
always
talk about
about the
women's health. Y'all
it's always
had
about men.
menopause. Now we
Give me
got
a break.
andropause. Okay,
I
y'all
know
had
we already
menopause. We're
talked
not
about this.
alone.
Finish
We're
talking
not
about
alone.
your
See, we're
erect.
talking about men's health. I'm trying to bring men's health to the forefront.
Okay. Okay.
And the size consistently changes and fluctuates
Mhm.
through the day. Did you know that?
No.
And there's, of course, you knew this. There's growers and there's showers. You know what that is, right?
Um, I don't know. Why don't you explain it to
Some
all of
some
us?
men just present themselves as they are. So when the blood pressure
Ah,
event shows and they get
yeah.
erect, it's the same size. Others
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
Others grow,
Okay.
right? And sensitivity, I think we all know this sensitivity is not evenly distributed through the organ.
Mhm.
And you know what? Erections can happen without desire.
Really?
Yeah. Not every erection reflects sexual interest. Well, we just said that. We just talked about that, right? We talked about that when we talked about when you're asleep, it's REM sleep.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right.
So that's true. What else is interesting? What other 30 things is interesting? Uh, Size has no relevance on fertility.
Oh, who
Some people think the bigger
I
you are,
mean,
the more fertile you are.
and I'm gonna tell you something. I think that that's, like, just one of those things. I remember somebody saying to me, "Oh, you can't get pregnant unless you have a woman has an orgasm." What? F Who told you that? Who
Oh,
told you
well,
that?
there's many. Hey, that's just like
And
what
when
if
I
you
heard that, I was
if you
like,
masturbate, you'll go blind. So that's the same one. That's the
"Wow."
same person. That's the same
Yeah.
person.
But again, people are raised and they're told different things, and you're just like, "Yeah." So
And the pelvic floor muscles also matter for men, not just women. So when y'all
no,
doing
I
those
know.
kegels, they matter
Mhm.
for men
Kegels.
too.
Mhm.
Kegels, kegels,
Yes. No, not
kegels.
Kegels, Kegels.
But aging does affect erections, but not the
And
desire.
I have to tell you, I think that women don't realize this, but it is ideal to do Kegels every morning, and you should just do them.
Again,
Let me give some advice.
this is about men's health.
Well, again, we were talking about Kegels. So for women, it's like, who's thinking about doing Kegels? Most women are not. While you're brushing your teeth, do your Kegels. If you have that 2-minute toothbrush that you're brushing your teeth, do your Kegels at that time, or at each stoplight, you should do Kegels or stop sign, or have some type of um, like something in your daily routine that will remind you to do the Kegels. I do my Kegels when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning. So just wanted to share that. I think it's important that we, especially as we get older, women who have had babies, and believe it or not, it has nothing to do about having babies. Your pelvic floor just starts to weaken as you get older. And I think for men as well, I
Can we
think,
can we get
yeah.
back on penises, please? Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm down to 29. I only got two more. We can
Jamie,
go back.
Jamie,
We can go
read your
back to
book.
women.
Jamie,
We can go
read your
back to
book.
women.
Jamie, read your book. Nobody
Cultural
gives a
myths
about a
shape
penis.
expectations more than biology. So we get inside of our head, and that's easily that I do it. Many beliefs about penis size, performance, masculinity are culturally constructed rather than biologically meaningful. Yeah, we know that. But it still
Okay.
permeates out there. And
Okay.
you know what matters more than anatomy? Confidence. Confidence.
Yeah.
Research shows
Well,
that sexual satisfaction depends more on confidence, communication, emotional connection, and mutual understanding than on physical characteristics. A healthy relationship is with one's body contributes more to sexual well-being than size or shape ever could.
I believe that.
And look, we can't talk about one without talk about the other because now there's 23 things you probably didn't know about your testicles.
Okay.
I think we should go over that too. Because they're one big family and we can't leave
Mhm.
one out without the other. You know, testicles are outside the body for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
That's a good question. So when you what?
She's like, it's a good question. I don't know what the hell the answer
No,
is,
I was
but
gonna
it's a
say
good
something so
question.
messed up. I was gonna say so. Never mind. I don't want to say it. I I don't know why. I don't know.
Because because they need to be a few degrees cooler than the core body temperature to produce a healthy
Mm,
sperm.
okay. Did you know, since we're talking about male reproductive, did you know that if a male has too much there's such thing as varicose veins in the sac that it could slow down the production of your sperm? Did you know that?
Did I know if the male? Yes, I did. I've heard that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So men, go get if you ever want to have children, you definitely need to look to see if you have any varicose veins or those types of veins in your ball sack because it will slow down your it actually I believe it makes your sperm count lower. I believe
Well,
so.
there's hundreds and hundreds of feet of tubing inside
Mhm.
each testicle, approximately
Mm.
600 feet or 180 meters of tiny coiled,
Really?
yes, tubules,
Wow.
or the
Mhm.
tubules, or the tubules. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Where, where sperm is made. These tiny tubes,
Really?
let's just call them tubes. These
Mhm.
tiny tubes are so long and densely packed that you stretch them out and they will fill an entire football field.
Uh,
Can't make this stuff up. I'm not a doctor, but I slept at a Holiday Inn Express a few years ago. So that is very
good for you.
true. So you can get, which I had, this happened to me. You can get, what's it called? You can like injure yourself. Like I injured myself on a bike when I was like 10.
Mhm. I remember you
And
told me.
you can get, it's called torsion, and they twist testicular torsion. It's an emergency. Like I was like, I was young. I was like, I don't know what's going on. They had to rush me to the hospital. And what they do is they go in and then they untwist, because it's like the testicle gets twist, and then the
Wow.
torsion like twist your main cord, your spermatic cord, twist like like a twisty, and it stays. So they got to do that, or it basically cuts off blood
Really?
flow. And yeah, so then
Mm.
they had to go in, and then what they do is they take that main spermatic cord and they staple it down or stitch it down to your testicle so it won't have the chance to twist like that anymore. But what they do is they go in on the other side and do
Mhm.
it to the other testicle too. So while they're in there, they sew them both down. So they
Wow, I
got
did not
me. They
I
got me
remember
when
you
I was
telling me
like
that.
10 or 11.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I remember. I was paying, I hit it on a bike. The boat, which
The
is
bar?
kind of stupid. If you really think about why did they build men's bikes with the
Jamie?
bar going across instead of the girls' bikes
Jamie?
when the girls coming down?
Jamie, I always wanted a boy's bike, so I had a boy's bike, and I hurt myself so bad on that bar.
Yeah, and look, they should never. It's
Wow.
like, who was the safety czar on that decision? It's
What?
like there is no
I
reason to have that bar
remember that pain.
right there.
What?
Please, somebody tell me. Please, somebody comment on
My
this
yellow
podcast and
boy
tell
bike.
us why there's a bar on that bike right
Yes.
there instead of the bar that goes down to avoid those type of
Right.
things. And
Why?
why do
Yeah,
the
and
women have them and the men don't?
yeah, but I didn't want the girl's bike. I wanted the boy's bike.
So I was like, yeah. So those are interesting things. I'm not going to go through all of them, but
Okay.
we'll end with testicular torsion
Okay.
as we go there. I didn't bring the subject up. You did, because you call our POTUS an
I know, and
organ.
I'm sorry for my foul language, but that's just who I am. That uh, we could not have did this whole episode without me saying something.
This is true.
Um,
So
go ahead.
we talked about this before one time on the podcast, but it's like it's happening more and more. So they're talking about, so Vogue was talking about how let's stop using the word classy to describe women on the red carpet. Because, everybody's like going basically the least amount of clothes as they possibly can. I don't have a
Mhm.
problem with it. But then your girl came out, what's her name? Chappelle Roan,
Uh-huh.
came out at the Grammys, and she had a dress that was basically held on with nipple piercings. There were hoops, and she had the dress hooked onto the nipple piercings, and it just hung. And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." But then they're like, "It's not classy," and I'm just like, I don't know, and I'm feeling a certain type of way
I
about it. It
haven't
was
seen it.
British, it's British Vogue, but I'm feeling a certain type of way about it because to me, there we go again. Either you celebrated the physical beauty of a male or a woman's body, but then you want to chastise it or say it's not classy by your own definition. When in what? So you're saying the female image or vision is not a classy image because it's not covered up? Now we're not talking about in certain religious beliefs. This is in pop culture, and I go see that's that's that type of abuse. That's that microaggression, I believe, against women. It's like if you want to come out, because nobody would say anything if a man came bare chested to the Grammys with his jacket open. So why you gonna say something if a woman comes bare chested with her jacket open showing cleavage? And it's really
Right.
just it's amazing to me that it's still all about the nipples. Like there must be something that that they figured out about
But
men and nipples that we must lose our effing mind when
well, you
we
said
see
that.
nipples.
Right.
We
You
do,
said
and it's funny, but we do. But again, I go back to I think it's something that is a microaggression against a woman's in, influence over
Mhm.
a man and trying to control that. I'm going
Mhm.
deep on this, but in trying to control that so we don't get distracted, right? But women should be able to dress how they want. And then, I mean, even to the point where, I think it was the Oscars. It definitely wasn't the Grammys. I think the Oscars was like, yeah, we're going to put a stop to this. You have to basically, you can't wear any, almost like you can't wear any sheer clothing. But the Grammys obviously is like, hey, do what you got to do. But it's interesting that British Vogue came hard for it. And I'm like, classy or not, that's your definition. But to put that on all of them rather than just saying that's something you like or don't like, I think that's
Mhm.
better suited. But why is it classy if some old famous artist from back in the day painted a picture of a naked woman laying on a couch?
Right.
That's
Right.
art and classy, but if it's in front of you in real life, it's not.
Right. Yeah,
What's
I
the problem
mean,
with that?
I think I never ever say to myself, God, that is just awful. Like, why is she showing her body? And before meeting you, I definitely was in a marriage where, those types of things were, I want to say spoke about like as if you were not very tasteful, right? Like you don't show your nipples, you don't wear red, you don't do these things. And it was just like such a mind fuck, I should say. And I'm like, I look back and I'm like, what in the world? Like red lipstick, I mean, red dress. If you had your nipples showing, I mean, it was just like so much like against the fact that, you're basically trashy. To me, I'm like, listen, if you have a great body, and guess what? Whatever that body looks like, I don't care. If you are comfortable in your skin, show it, do whatever you want with it. I am not here to judge you. I don't care. I think that women and everybody should be comfortable in their own skin and wear whatever they want to wear. If you feel good in it, wear it. It's just like you can't tell me that, oh, because I want to wear a bikini at the age of 50. Oh, why are you wearing a bikini? Because I work my ass off in the gym and take care of myself and I feel good. So I don't put your stuff on me. Don't put your stuff on me. I'm sorry that you don't want to wear what I'm wearing and you think that, oh, because I'm old, I shouldn't wear it. No, I why shouldn't I wear it? I should wear it because I can. And I'm not saying to you that if you were 100 pounds more than me that you shouldn't. I think that if you feel good in what you're wearing, wear it. Point blank. I don't care.
Yeah. Now, I do think that there are places
Yes, I
where it's
agree.
more appropriate to wear certain things that you just and there are
Absolutely.
certain social constructs that because of either legality and it's really other people that we've gotten to
Mhm.
that point where yeah, all right, look, you can't you probably don't want to walk around at a corporate setting in a thong in a
Of
bikini.
course.
Of course not.
Yes.
But yet you should be. But the other thing is, you should be able to do whatever you want in your private life. And then if somebody shows that or displays that, that shouldn't hurt you in your corporate life. But we know it will, right?
Right. That's why I never was
Um,
in corporate, because I wouldn't fit in. Because I would say, "You know what? Don't look at me then. Sorry." Sorry,
but
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you're not
Because
going to
I'm
go to
sorry to
that.
say, if you were to say to me, "You know what? We're going on this corporate, event, and, we're going to the beach, and I'm not gonna wear my Brazilian cut bikini because I'm around your staff,"
Well, that's
I woulda
different.
stayed home.
That's a setting. That's a
Uh
setting. You're at the beach. You're at a setting. Now, if it was we're at a setting and we're doing our own thing on that time, then you have to understand that there are constructs like, all right, we're going to an event.
Well, an
And
event
that
is
might not.
different.
Well, I'm just saying, that's the thing. It's like there are certain constructs that you have to pay attention to, but definitely that it's almost like a reverse body shaming of women
Yeah, I'm sorry.
that
I'm
that
just like,
that happens, right?
yeah.
And there's always got to be the comment. Now, look, I'm guilty as the next person. You look at things and you make your opinion, but it doesn't need to be commented on, right?
Right.
I'm a man,
Mhm.
so I'm going to see something, and I can't help it if I see something. I go, oh, that's attractive. Of course, with all due respect, it's not like I'm gonna sit there and ogle and oogle over somebody.
Mhm.
But you can appreciate
Absolutely.
just like I can appreciate a Ferrari or appreciate a Lamborghini. Like
Mhm.
they are what they are. That doesn't mean I want one. That doesn't mean I'm gonna get one.
Yeah.
Um, and that doesn't mean it's better or not better than a Toyota. I could care less. It's like you like something and you like something, but
Mhm.
that's what it is. It's not derogatory. It's just whatever your preference is. But
Right.
that's where it should stop. Um, in the whole conversation. But that always interesting to me. And now that we're on women, and now that we're on reproductive systems before. So I would have thought that this was obvious, but yet it has come into the conversation of longevity and living longer because everybody wants to live longer. But I'm assuming it's not just living longer, it's living a quality life because, they discovered and I don't know what these are. I don't know what bowhead whales are, but they're probably whales that we always see. We just didn't know they were considered to be bowhead. They're the longest living mammals on Earth. They can live up to more than 200 years, and they can have babies up until their 100th birthday,
Wow.
which sounds good. But I go, okay, well, women can have babies up into their 50s, and if they live to be 100, it's kind of like the same thing. So basically, half your life you can reproduce. Let's say you have the ability to reproduce. But what they're looking at is ovaries. What is the difference about their ovaries, a whale's ovaries, that allow them to continue ovulating for so long? And they want to be able to harness that quality to benefit human health.
Mm.
Interesting. I was like, well, yeah, ovaries are basically the cradle of life. Is an ovary?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense. So most female vertebrates, mammals, birds, fish, have ovaries, as do earthworms, beetles, and squid, for those of you who wanted to go down that deep. About half of all humans are born with them, because, of course, about half of all humans are females. But until recently, scientists and doctors' interest in ovaries has focused largely on their role as potential baby makers or victims of disease like cancer, not in longevity. So now they want to know what ovaries can teach us basically because of what's happening out there. I said, well, why wouldn't they have thought that a long time ago? Why wouldn't they thought that? Ovaries are like conductors in the orchestra. They are coordinating things like bone health, heart health, metabolism. And when that coordination stops or becomes faulty, health problems can emerge. I wonder how. So obviously, ovaries must be very instrumental in menopause.
Yeah.
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 Duh.
Duh. Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah,
Duh.
absolutely.
And
Um,
women live longer. See, the other thing is women live longer on average than men.
well,
But
and
wait a minute, but women tend to be sicker than men as they grow older, suffering from more chronic diseases and disability.
yeah, because most women neglect themselves taking care of their man.
Well,
But,
that's I don't know if that's anecdotal or that's observative, but that there's no scientific fact in that. The
yeah,
scientific
well,
fact will say,
it's the scientific fact that women take care of their everybody. Okay. And let's talk about let me pivot off of this. I saw on social media there was this Asian woman and she is screaming. She's like she maybe Cambodian, screaming at the top of her lungs how she hates all of her effing kids. And I look at her and I can just tell she is stressed out. She is, and the son is like, "You're nothing but a bitch." And she's cooking dinner and he's calling her a bitch. And she's like, "I'm trying to get this MFer. I got the other kids out. I'm trying to get this MFer out." Now, mind you, he's 17 years old. He should still be at home with his mom. But all the social media was like, "Oh, I can't believe she said that about her kids." And I'm like, well, clearly she's dealing with a spoiled ass brat, 17 years old, and had the nerve to call her a bitch. And she was like, "Oh, I'm such a bitch, but I'm up here cooking you dinner." And he was like, "Oh, you think you think that makes you a great mom because you have a recipe and you're cooking me dinner?" I said, "Wow." See, I would have threw it in the
Well, who
trash and say,
raised those kids?
You know what though, Jamie? You can say whatever you want because you never raised any, okay? You never
But
raised any.
I was
You
raised.
never raised any.
But
You
I
were
was
raised,
raised.
yes, but the thing is, I'm like, to again, let's go to the point where I understand that not all children are going to be disrespectful like that and not treat their parent like that. But what I'm witnessing in this video that I'm watching is this woman is stressed the hell out. Did she do a good job raising this kid? I don't know. I think that sometimes teenagers get to this certain point and they just start to smell themselves and they start to challenge. I hate to say that she's probably a single mom. There's no father in the home to set these values on how to be a young man and how you treat a woman and things like that. But the video was so disturbing, and I feel like the feedback from it was like, again, I hate my effing kids. Well, you hate them and she hates them for the simple fact is that she, as their mother, gave them too much. And this is what too much looks like when you spoil kids. It does. This is what it looks like. And I know it, Jamie, I know what it looks like. You know what? Let me tell you, raising kids, it was more about my feelings and okay, you're on punishment. Oh, I got one for you. My mom. You're on punishment for 2 weeks. 2 hours, I'm outside that door. I'm like, "Mom, please, 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 please." Mom, I'm outside the door. Why I found myself doing the same stuff with my own children. Don't let me say it again. Don't let me say it again. And this is what I'm trying to teach my
So what you're
daughter.
talking about is consequences. You and your
Consequences, yeah.
mom did not set up a structure of consequences
Consequences.
that would make you
Absolutely.
understand your
Absolutely.
actions and behaviors.
Absolutely.
So now you're lashing out 17, 20, 25 years later, even or before that, that you have terrible kids when in fact,
You raise those terrible.
you raised those terrible kids. Now, that being said, I mean, it's a totally different environment than when that lady got raised or when I got raised and these kids get raised. But then you didn't change. You didn't adjust. You didn't adapt.
It's
And then
true.
you created. This is like a story I used to always tell you. Like years ago, I went to a therapist after I got divorced. And she had me read this book.
I remember you
I
told
think
me.
it was called You You Get you
The
deserve the
love that
love that you get or something like that. And the premise was how you were raised and how you were loved in your family and as a child and by your parents is how you gravitate towards your relationships, your personal relationships and your love relationships. And I remember she wanted me to read this book, and I'm not a big book reader. I'm like article, internet, gobble,
yeah.
gobble, gobble information, but sit down and read a book. I said, all right, it's part of the process. I come back after reading the book after a week, and she's like, well, what did you learn? I said, look, what I learned is there's a lot of people that shouldn't be parents.
Yeah. It's
There
true.
people should not be parents. They should like almost like you could they should make you take a class before you have a kid to
I
pass.
agree with you.
Almost like you should
I
get a license to be a parent, like you get a license to drive. I know that's gonna be controversial, but
No, but you know
that
what though?
because what? If you're not ready, you have just changed the trajectory of not one person's lives, but many people's lives. Because if you're not ready, if you're not acute, if you're not prepared, and it's not about being able to give somebody a
I know.
silver spoon
I
or
know.
you don't have enough money. It's not that. It's based on behavior and
Absolutely.
what you're trying to build and how
Yeah.
you're trying to do it. It's no different than any other plan or strategy. There's good ones, there's okay ones, there's poor ones.
Mhm.
And the problem with this one is you don't get a chance. It's not like you get a chance to do it over, but only after you do it the first time. So that first time is that first time. And if
Yeah,
your
I
experience is from your being grown up or others, that's what that book told me. I was like, I
I
was
wish I could do
lucky.
it all over again.
I
I
saw
look
good.
back and I'm just like, wow, like the things that I know now, I wish I would have known then raising my kids.
So this lady on this whatever platform that you saw her cursing and saying her
Mm.
kids were derogatory
No,
things.
she hated
Well,
she hates her
how did
kids.
it end? How did it end?
It was just a video of the boy and her screaming and there you know how like you have like the double screen and it's a guy like, "Oh, here is this
And
woman."
you sure that wasn't, excuse me, staged for the
No.
dramatic effect?
No. No, 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 no. You could tell this woman was just very stressed out. But let's get off that subject. I want to talk about me being grandmother of the year.
Are you grandmother of the year? Are you putting in your candidacy for grandmother of the year? I know what you're about to talk about, I think, but go right ahead.
You know I
I'll
am.
be the judge.
You know I am. Well, you know what? Let's not you can't be the judge because you didn't come. So, I want to tell everybody I went to my grandson had his 4th birthday party and I told my daughter that I couldn't make it because I just was in town and I just was like exhausted to even think about she was having a birthday party 2 weeks after I was just there. So I told her I wasn't gonna make it. So I tell Jamie, and he's having an Avengers party, and I tell Jamie, I said, "That's it. I want to get dressed up and I want to go in and I want to surprise everyone of me being there." So of course, my wonderful husband is online and he's trying to find me a costume, and we're just trying to figure it out. And
That's because you didn't know what an Avenger was.
that is not true.
You didn't know which were
I
Avengers. You didn't
didn't
know which
know.
were Marvel. You
Okay,
didn't know. You had no idea.
all right.
You knew,
That's
okay, you knew
hey,
Black Panther and you knew Iron
hey.
Man.
Hey, and I didn't even go as an Avenger, did I? I went as a Fantastic Four.
Honey, they
S
are Avengers.
Okay, well, good for you, Mr.
So
Superhero.
you proved my
Okay,
point.
Mr. Superhero.
I didn't say I'm
Okay, I don't
necessarily.
know, but
You just proved my point.
you want to tell me that I don't know who the Avengers are? I don't wanna know. I don't, because guess what? I don't care about them,
Okay.
okay? So, no, I don't
I
need to
just thought it
know
was
who
funny.
Superman is, Batman is. No, you just said that you didn't know who they were.
That's
I
right.
know who guess what? I know who they are from you because you're a superhero yourself. Anyway, I tell Jamie, I said, we're trying to find a costume that is basically where they can't identify me. So anyway, what is he called? The Thing?
The thing.
So I
Fantastic
go
Four.
in as the Thing and I am walking down the steps, almost break my neck, and everybody's starting to look at me. And I'm like, walking in and it's a big blow up outfit. So it's like huge. Um, And I walk in and I'm like touching everybody. And my daughter's like looking like, who is this person? We didn't hire this person because she did wind up hiring 8 characters from the Avengers to come and perform at his party. So I go there and my daughter's standing and I just smack her butt like really hard. And again, through the mask, I can see I know who she is, but I'm forgetting that she doesn't know who I am. She thinks I'm a stranger. She looks at me and like I almost felt like she felt like sexually assaulted. Like I was like, oh my God, this look on her face was what?
So
What?
you want us to vote for you for grandmother of the year, but you
I didn't
sexually
say
assaulted your own daughter in a costume.
I well, this is what I want to say to you is that that was my daughter. My grandson was so excited. All the kids were excited. Everybody was excited to see me. I think it was the best I was going to say Christmas birthday gift ever. Like it was just amazing. So if anybody else wants to copy, you can go right ahead and
It was.
copy,
I
but
mean, you look better than the people that she hired to be the Avengers
Yeah,
and
the Avengers even
superheroes.
asked they even asked to take pictures with
It
me.
was a
They're
good
like, "Wow, this
costume.
is amazing." But yeah, that was one of the memories that I'm like, I was so happy that I went and I created that memory for my grandkids. So yeah, but
Not so much for your daughter, but your grandkids.
no, it was
Yes, now
Jamie. You should have.
your daughter's gonna have PTSD every time she goes to her son's birthday
Jamie,
party.
her face, I was like, "It's me, Taya." Like, I was just like, she was so like, I'm about to. And again, she's feisty, so I was like, I need to tell her before she comes over here and tries to knock me the hell out. But yeah, that was good. It was a great party.
Yep, and he is 4 years old now,
Sebastian Major.
thinking he is probably 15 at
God
this point.
bless. I
He
just
is
love him.
he is 4 years, so I'll give you a few points for the effort and the costume. I'm taking away a
Thanks.
point for the abuse of a family member or sexual abuse of a family member.
And not knowing the Avengers either, you could take that point away too.
And not knowing and not even know that you went as an Avenger after I
Okay.
set you up to go
You
as an
did. You
Avenger.
set me up. You did.
I
You
don't
set
know,
me up.
but see, those are for little kids, I don't know how famous the Thing is probably if you would've went as the other one, the other 3, I don't know if they would've got that, but the thing, that was the
Yeah,
Avenger.
I think. And I picked that one out, but I picked that. You didn't pick it out. You picked the costume out, but I picked the person out, the
What?
character. I
Oh,
picked the
yeah,
character out.
you get now we
Are
have
you kidding
revisionist
me right
memory.
now?
What are
I
you talking
picked out the
about?
character.
I
I
gave
said, "What
you
about
I gave
Fantastic
you I
Four?"
said you could be I said you could
You were trying to
you
get me
can't
to
go as
go,
this. I said we were talking about Batgirl. We were talking about
and I said I couldn't do
Storm. We were
anything.
talking, but we had to be people that they couldn't see the face. So then we
Jamie, and
said
I
be
said,
Black
"Well,
Panther.
so
We
hold
said be
up,
Black Panther because there's a female
Jamie.
Black Panther now.
Jamie, if I can recall, I'm sitting in your office. I said, "Well, what about Fantastic Four, the guy that looks like the Rocky guy?" And you were like, "Yeah." So we looked at him, and then you picked the costume. I'm the one that said I wanted to go as him.
I don't recall, and I don't
You
remember it
wouldn't.
that
You
way.
wouldn't recall.
I
You wouldn't
don't
recall because you
I
want to
don't
take all the
remember
credit.
it that way.
See, I
Now, what
gave
I
you
will
credit for
say,
buying me the best
is
costume.
I do remember saying when you said Fantastic Four, I was like, oh, and I was like, oh yeah, they're part of the Avengers. I remember saying that,
Okay.
but I don't remember you like
All
being
right.
like, oh, I had the thing on my list from the beginning. I just
Let
need
me
you to
ask you
find me a
something.
costume. That's not the
Yeah,
case.
you got a funny memory when it comes to
No,
some things.
it's called accurate.
Mm. You know, I think, yeah, you always think you're accurate. I think, I had a conversation on my ride to New Jersey, and it was just a short conversation. But the conversation was like, you know what? I'm tired of reaching out to my friends and checking in on them. And I'm like, I don't get phone calls or a text message just say, hey Monique, how you doing? So I'm like, when do you start to realize that maybe you're just not friends anymore? Or maybe do you just say, I mean, if I reach out to you about 8 times and I
Yeah.
know that you're going through things, but you never reciprocate and check on me to see how I'm doing. I have a problem with that.
Well, what are they going through? Because sometimes, and look, I mean, I'm not a big, maybe on text, but I'm not a big check-in person. It's kind of like there's a cadence, and if do we contact each other every month, every 6 months, every year, on birthdays? I mean, there's check-ins because you get busy with life. But I get it. You're saying I reached out to them, but that's not why. And I'm assuming that's not why you do it. I know that's not why
No,
you do it to get reached
no,
back out to.
no, not at all. I mean, I reach out because I'm truly curious how they're doing and how life is going. And, yes, life is busy, right? But when I look at my messages and I'm like, well, damn, the last 10 times I checked in, it was me checking in. Yeah, I would like somebody to check in on me as well sometimes because guess what? Despite what you're going through, I may be going through something you have no idea what I'm going through because you didn't ask. So I think the question is it harder to keep friendships together as you get older? Do you find it harder to keep adult friendships together? And again, I have a lot of friends that I do check in with. And then it's crazy because then I have a friend that I met through you and I'm like, she checks on me all the time. I mean, it's crazy. Like we've become
But
to the
there is
point
a
where it's just
difference.
like,
There is a there is a difference because there's a recency kind of thing. Like when you have recent friends and they check on you because you know you don't have that whole history, a recency. I'm trying to say, I think I can get that. Like you'll get reached out to because it's they look people come and go in your life for different reasons and different
Absolutely.
friends. So I don't have the same standard across the board for friends. All I have is the standard friends. Is that if we're friends, then we're cool. You don't have anything bad to say about me. I don't have anything bad to say about you. If you do have something to say, you say it to me before you go talk to other people about it. Um, and you have a mutual respect. That doesn't mean everything you're gonna say I'm gonna like, and everything I say you're gonna like doesn't mean we're gonna agree on everything. But we have obviously common interest, and there's things about one another that we appreciate, respect, and like. That's it.
Mhm.
So if you're
Okay.
not a check-in, like in every group of friends, there's the one who checks in all the time. There's the one who texts all the time that keeps the group chat together. There's the one that's trying to
Mhm.
get everybody together. There's the one
Yep.
that you can't get in touch with. That's like doing a thing, and everybody goes off and does their own family thing. But yeah, I've never had that type of concern or thought about friends because I feel like you're my friend, whether I talked to you 5 minutes
Mhm.
ago or 5 years
I
ago.
listen, I have a girlfriend from kindergarten. I have a girlfriend before kindergarten. I still keep in touch with those people. It's I'm not asking to say, "Oh, I need somebody to check in on me," but I'm like, if I constantly am checking in on you to see how you're doing, I would like for you to say, "Hey, Monique, how are you doing?" Like, why I don't like sometimes I just don't like the one-sided of the relationship. I think relationships continue to stay together as when two people reciprocate and give effort into the relationship. But if you're not get it's just like a marriage. If I keep giving to you and you just keep taking and taking and taking, you think I'm gonna be here? Absolutely not. No, I'm not. It takes 2. It takes 2 people to have a relationship to either sustain the relationship or to continue. Just like I said to you, I don't expect a call or a text every 3 weeks or something like that, but every few months to say, "Hey, I'm just checking in on you. I hope you're doing well." Is there something wrong with that?
I mean, if that's your expectation has been communicated, so they know. They may not know. They may think everything's all right with you, and it's not with
Well,
me. So that's why you're checking in on me. And sometimes when people are going through things, they don't want to hear other people being, happy. But you learn everybody's going through something.
yes, it doesn't matter what it looks like.
Everybody's going through
Everything on the
something.
outside doesn't mean that it's everybody's happy. So,
So you obviously okay. We're talking about relationships. We watch Love Is Blind. If everybody knows Love Is Blind is on again. The U.S. Love Is Blind is on again. It's one of the call it trash TV that although I would call that a
Lucinda
little
and
higher.
Sean.
Love Island. I said Love Is Blind. That's Love Island. I'm
Oh,
talking about
shit.
Love Is Blind. I'm talking about
Yeah.
Love Is
Okay.
Blind. That's like yeah, okay. Love Is Blind is like Saks Fifth. Love Island is like TJ Maxx. Okay. So, so, but it's interesting because that in Love Is Blind, that whole discussion with the couple who the woman's like, I never wanted to have kids, and now they're trying to figure out if they want to get married. He's like, look, all right, if you don't want to have kids, I don't want you to have kids, but if you marry me, then you're telling me the kids are on the table, and then I'm just letting you know,
He's not gonna
if you
marry her.
don't, then if we're married, I'm basically saying it's a wrap. Now that's interesting because I was reading an article about a week ago and this article was in Slate, and it said, everyone thinks cheating on your spouse is the highest form of betrayal, but there's one lie that's worse. And it's kind of like a Dear Abby kind of thing in Slate where people write in, I guess, kind of some of the stuff kind of made up. But you know what? Truth is always stranger than fiction. So this person goes, um, very much usually, okay, here it is. But here it is. A person can leave a cheating spouse at any point in the marriage and potentially find a new partner and remarry. But a woman who wants kids cannot have kids at any point. That's why lying about wanting kids someday is worse than cheating. In this situation, I would give my friend a specific time frame to tell. And if they didn't, then I would. So obviously what's set up is like this woman doesn't want to have kids anymore.
Yeah.
And she hasn't told her partner. And like the person's like, I don't like what the person's doing. I don't like the person is like holding her hostage. Like if you don't tell them, I will. That's not your business to tell,
None of her
especially if
bit.
I
No,
confide
yeah.
in you. But at the
Mhm.
same time, yeah,
It's not right though.
that's not a good one.
Yeah, but that's just like the comedian. She says, "You know what? I had a baby." What did she say? "I had a baby, call him little Johnny, knowing daggone well that looks like Derek's baby, because it is Derek's baby." But she told Johnny it was his. I mean, I remember the first time I had a neighbor that she was married and sleeping with the barber, and she had his baby. And Jamie,
Did it
it
look like
should
the
have
barber?
Jamie, it all came out afterwards, and then the husband he stayed with her. The barber would come over and visit the baby. It was just
Oh yeah, that
when I
wouldn't have been
tell
happening.
you it was the craziest.
Yeah,
That
that
could have
wouldn't
been
have been
a
happening.
sitcom.
No, that wasn't a
Sitcom.
sitcom. That was a drama.
Oh my God. And then I talked to my daughter and how her daughters turned out. I was like, amazing. Because that woman was bat shit crazy. Like bat shit crazy.
Well, that's
She was a
how
sweetheart.
old is the kid?
So
Or
one
the
is,
adult now?
yeah, an adult now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm her godmother. Well, was supposed to be her godmother,
We
but
think she turned out all right. You don't know.
no. My daughter talks to them. My daughter talks to them because her and the oldest daughter were really, really close, and she's doing really well for herself. But yeah, that was. I used to sit back and watch that unfold just like it was a TV show. This is crazy,
That's because it was
crazy.
stranger. It was stranger that,
Yes.
but yeah, that's a rough one. Like but hey, they're having a good conversation about it. But it's like if you have any doubts, it's kind of like why get married? Just stay with each other until.
He's not going to marry her though. Because she's too unsure and she doesn't want to feel pressured. But let's talk about the.
And then, but wait a minute, what about what her sister said about her
Yeah.
kids? And I was like,
Her sister
it's a
was like,
wrap.
"Don't
I
do
was
it.
like, it's a wrap. It's not happening.
Don't." And you know what though? And what her sister said to her was so valid. So valid. Like
But
coming from,
I thought it was out of context. I thought it was I thought it wasn't the
you
right
know
time.
why?
It wasn't the right time to say
You
that
know what, Jamie? It wasn't. Now that I think back, it
on
wasn't the right time.
TV in front of the dude who's there with the family,
She
and
was like,
basically it's the sister of the young
"You
lady who doesn't want to have kids. She's adopted, so she gets adopted. She gets raised. It feels like she gets raised like the best she could possibly. I mean, no complaints.
yeah,
Although I thought they were a little bit off on some of the things that they didn't realize about how the adopted daughter felt when she grew up. And she has a condition, a disability, that birthmarks that they had to take off her arm. Her arms, I don't want to say it's mangled, but it looks like that she was burned pretty bad
yeah,
as a child, and it stayed that way. Beautiful girl.
yeah." No, she's very
Wouldn't
attractive.
know it if when her arms covered up. Not that makes a difference. Everybody's fine with that. But the sister is like, yo, I love my kids, but if I had a chance to do it over again, I'll choose me. And I was like, whoa.
I think that when women before they have children, it's just like they're fixated on what society tells us we're supposed to do. And I think that once it happens, you realize it's like it is the most selfless. It's it's a lot. And I'm going to tell you right now, I remember telling my daughter, "Don't have any kids." And I remember, be selfish. Love yourself, do whatever for yourself, because once you have those children, it's no longer about you. And that's why I say that what she said was so valid. Like, yeah. I, and my daughter's like, "Well, mom, how could you say that? And you had 3 kids." I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking. I love my children, but that was a lot.
I
More than
love
I
my
could ever
children
imagine.
too. I'm glad you had them and raised them, but then they got to me. Okay, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
great, grown, doing their thing. It all looked easy, but I'm sure it wasn't for you or their father or their biological father, the person that raised them. I should say he
Yeah.
did good.
No,
You guys did a great job, and I get
thanks.
the benefits of it, and I'll take it. But whoa, when she said that in front of her, I was like, yep, that was a made for love is blind moment. Like, yeah, we're gonna see. Love is blind. but it ain't dumb. So you got
Well,
you
you
gotta
know what?
you gotta make a choice.
And the guy,
And
let's talk before we do close this. Let's talk about the guy that signed up for this project, Love Is Blind, and then meets this wonderful human being, this
what's his
young
name
lady.
again?
I don't know.
I forgot what his name is.
So do
Chris?
I. Yes.
Yes, I don't know how I
Yes.
thought that,
And
but
what's her?
I'm
Do you
letting you
remember
know
her
ahead of
name?
time. I'm Team Chris. I'm Team Chris.
Chris shouldn't have went on the show because Chris, Chris is not a very listen, I'm not against him saying that this isn't he's not attracted to her. It's I think the way that he went about it.
I think that there's no good way to go about telling that here's the thing is that, Love Is Blind is like they can't see each other, they fall in love with each other through a wall, they talk to each other for weeks, and then they finally meet. Then they go away, everybody goes away on a honeymoon immediately after they're engaged, and then they got 4 weeks to figure it out.
Yeah,
Now,
I
he
get it.
told her pretty soon after the honeymoon that he wasn't physically attracted to her. How do you tell somebody that other than just telling them that? But he also said to her, that doesn't mean I won't grow to be attracted to you. He just said, basically, you're not doing it for me.
I know, but it's
And
just
that's
like, oh, I'm used
honesty.
to girls that do Pilates, and I'm used
Now
to
that was a cop-out. Now that part, I believe, was a cop-out because I'm like, well, what does a Pilates body look like? I mean, that's like saying I'm used to somebody who goes to Planet Fitness. I mean, what does a Planet Fitness body look like versus a Gold's Gym body? I mean, I think he was lost for words in that. If he should have just ended with, it's just not there for me. I'm not getting that emotional feeling that I get when I'm strongly physically and sexually attracted to somebody. He should have just ended it right there. That's where he went wrong. But he didn't go wrong by telling her as early as he did. He gave her the opportunity to get out of it before they even get more knee deep because she was in love with him, probably still is.
Oh my God, she was devastated. She was like, this is going to be my end all be all. Yeah, she
but
was
I mean,
like,
you're on TV. You're on
Mm.
TV. You think you found the man that you love. The man that you thought you love tells you on TV he's not physically attracted to you. Not that she's not attractive or attractive. I'm not making that judgment. That's his judgment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, he told you. What else?
And then he goes right back. Hold on. Then he goes on and he's trying to hit on Bree when Bree.
Now that's where I'm not team him. Where I'm not team him. I'm team him for how he approached it and say, hey, look, I'm gonna tell her as soon as possible. Then you started to see, okay, you're probably not the best person in the world because then you're gonna go try to steal somebody else's woman who you're engaged to. Now, that being said, the only problem I have with that is she was listening. It's not over yet. We'll find out on Wednesday. She looked like, and maybe they edited it that way, but it looked like her interest was piqued. And I was like,
and he was like bashing him in, talking about, you don't need a yes, ma'am. You don't need this. You don't need, he's so submissive.
He was going in on his, supposedly his friend.
He was going to him for advice for the relationship.
Yeah, that was, yeah. It's amazing how people show themselves, but you just have to, like we always say, people show you who they are. You need to believe it. So he was going well, thinking, oh, he's a straight up guy. He's stand up. He's going to tell somebody, he's quote unquote, the new saying, stand on business. And then you saw, oh, wait a minute. You let the camera keep on rolling and then you're starting to show yourself. So yeah, it's like that confidence was cockiness. That cockiness is, it's out of place.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow.
So, parting thoughts today. Had some interesting conversations. Parting thoughts from the mother
marriage,
of three.
Marriage isn't always perfect. We don't always get it right, and we always don't agree, but we do show up for each other. So continue to show up for your partner and the people that you love. Beat that, Jamie.
All I will say is good things take time. With a dramatic pause. You like that, right? Good things take time. It's not going to happen. Let it breathe. Like a good bottle of wine. Takes time.
Let's go. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise I ain't make it then.